Hey, Mom, come here for a second.
Oh, Helen's calling. I've got to put on the sweet, kind-hearted mother act again. I'm sorry about that. Is something wrong? Huh? Wait, why are you looking at me like that? You can drop the act now, Mom. We all know what you really are.
Trouble busters!
Oh, Helen, dear, would you mind coming into the kitchen to help me get dinner ready? Sure, Mom. Now, would you mind explaining what's going on here? Well, you see, my name is Helen. I'm 30 years old and I've been married for 3 years. My husband Alan is the same age as me and we get along great as husband and wife. There's one problem, and her name is Margaret, Alan's mother and my mother-in-law. Mom, Dad, I can't tell you how happy I am to join your family.
And we're thrilled to have you as our daughter-in-law, Helen.
I'll work hard to be the best wife to Alan that I possibly can be.
And now, you don't need to push yourself like that. Just enjoying each other's company is all you need, right, Margaret?
That's exactly right, Helen. I want you to think of our home as your own home as well. Thanks so much. I think I'll go make some tea. Oh, let me help you with that, Mom. Excuse me, Mom. Where do you keep the tea in here? Over there. Huh? I'm sorry. Over where? Why should I tell you? Find it yourself. What? You married into this family, so you're gonna have to pull your own weight. Okay, I'm sorry, Mom. You can't even find where we keep the tea, but you think you're going to be a wife worthy of my son? Pathetic. I'm sorry. She was all smiles and kindness when she was in front of her husband. But the very second it was just the two of us, she changed into a totally different person. I was happy to finally be married, and I love Alan more than anything else in the world. So I decided that I was just going to have to put up with her treatment of me. Good afternoon. Oh, is Alan here? Where is he? No, it's just me today. Oh, just you. What do you want? Well, I just so happened to be in the area, so I thought I'd stop by and say hello. I see you have plenty of time on your hands. Well, yes, I sort of do, thanks to Alan. Would you mind if I came inside to talk for a while? And why precisely do I have to let you into my house? I thought maybe I could give you a hand with the housework if you needed. Don't bother, I'd have to rewash any laundry you did anyway. That's not... Now get out of here! But, Mom, I wanted to... What? What do you want? I picked up those cakes I know you like from the store on my way here. Would you like to have a little snack together with me? No! Okay, well, she slammed the door in my face, but at least she accepted the cakes, I guess. I thought that for sure if I brought her a box of those cakes, that we would be able to have a nice little chat, but I guess I was wrong. My next thought was to go there together with Alan, and it would be okay, but I was wrong again. It didn't matter if Alan was there or not.
Hey, Mom, are you okay?
Alan, is that you? You came to see me?
You can't scare me like this, Mom. What happened?
I was walking down the stairs when I just slipped, I suppose. I guess I'm just getting old, it shows. Oh, I see Helen came along with you too. Yep, I'm glad to see you're in good spirits, Mom. How could I not be with you here to cheer me up? I'm sorry to make you two worry about little old me, but I'm fine.
Please, Mom, you've got to be more careful, especially at times like this when Dad's away on business. Oh, my company is calling me. Be right back.
If there's anything I can do to help you out, let me know, Mom. I'll be glad to help. The best thing you can do for me is to get out of my sight. What? Every time I see that face of yours, the pain in my leg gets worse and worse. Oh, well, I'm sorry, Mom. Ugh, why did that silly boy have to bring the likes of you along? You completely ruined my day now. What? You have something to say to me? Well, Alan, what did your company say?
It was no big deal, just a quick question. Helen? Is something wrong? You don't look so good.
No, I'm fine, Alan. Are you sure you're all right, Helen? Yeah, I'm fine. You look absolutely exhausted, dear. Alan, you need to take care of Helen. Do you hear me? She's your wife. She's your responsibility.
I know. Speaking of which, Dad said he was concerned about your injury, too. He called me earlier today.
Oh, I feel so terrible for making him worry about me while he's at work.
But the reality is that you're not really able to get around very much, right?
Well, we have the maid coming by regularly, so I'm not really concerned about the housework or anything.
I tell you what, Mom, how about I set up a camera for you today?
A camera?
It's like a home security camera. It'll let me know right away if anything happens to you, like you got hurt or something. It's nothing to be ashamed of. A lot of people use them to maintain their independence.
Oh, that would be wonderful. It makes me so uneasy to be all alone sometimes.
I'm at work during the day, so I'll program it so the notifications go straight to Helen's phone.
Huh?
Is that all right, Helen?
Sure, okay. I really appreciate this, Helen. No problem. You see that? Her attitude completely changes when other people are around. She's like a regular Dr. Jekyll, and I'm the one that always gets Hyde. I've been dealing with this for 3 whole years, and one night at a family dinner, I just couldn't take it anymore. I'd had enough. That moment, I realized something very important. I won't let her get away with this. It's troublemaster time. What gives you the right to eat the sushi that I ordered, Helen? I mean, Alan put it on my plate, and you should have put it right back. That's not very hygienic.
Hey, Mom, come here for a second.
Oh, Alan's calling. I've got to put on the sweet, kind-hearted mother act again. I'm sorry about that. Is something wrong? Huh? Wait, why are you looking at me like that? You can drop the act now, Mom. We all know what you really are. Helen, what in the world are you talking about? Everyone here heard how you were treating me in the kitchen just now. Every single word. What? Whatever could you mean, dear? We were just making a pot of tea for everyone in the kitchen, that's all.
No, Mom, she's right. We heard everything.
Alan, not you too. What on earth has this woman been telling you about me? I didn't tell him anything, Mom. I didn't have to. Everyone saw the whole thing with their own eyes. But that's impossible. I made sure that we were all alone and the doors were closed. There's no way they could have seen.
That sounds like a confession to me.
What? No, that's not it at all. It's just, well, there are just some things that women talk about that we'd prefer to keep private. That's what I meant. We just wanted privacy.
Would you give it up already, Mom? It's bad enough to find out that my own mother was acting like that.
Wait, do you mean you all actually saw us?
Yes, Mom. We all saw it. All of us.
But how? This doesn't make any sense. It actually makes perfect sense, Mom. Think about it. Think about what? I have no idea. Oh, yeah? Why don't you take a look right over there, Mom? What do you see? Oh, that thing? Alan installed it about a year ago when I hurt my leg and couldn't get out of bed for a while. What about it? It's a security camera, Mom. It automatically activates when it detects movement and sends a video feed directly to my phone in real time. Isn't technology wonderful? Yes, I remember you talking about that. You may not know this, but you can always tell whether it's running or not by looking at the light in the corner. I see. So tell me, Mom, what color is the light right now? It looks green to me. That's correct. Next question. Do you know what it means when the green light is on? I haven't the foggiest. A green light means that the motion activation feature is turned off and the camera is sending a constant live video feed. What in the world does that mean? I was doing a little cleaning around the house before we started eating dinner today, and it looks like I might have accidentally flipped one of the switches on the backside. And that means? Spit it out! It means that ever since I flipped that switch, everything that was happening in the room was being recorded and sent to my phone. What? And I think you also remember that Alan put up a camera in every room of the house, right? He wanted to make sure that no matter where you were in the house, we'd always be able to help you in an emergency. Ah, I see. How kind of you. So in conclusion, everything that happened in the kitchen between us right now was recorded and sent to my phone. But it only goes to your phone, right? No one else can see it. I've known all along that you hated my guts, and I was concerned that you might not accept my help if you were ever seriously in trouble. So I got Alan to change the settings so that all the videos sent to my phone was simultaneously sent to Alan's phone as well. Then, that means... Looks like you're catching on. The video from the kitchen just now was sent to Alan's phone and Alan saw the entire thing.
And imagine my shock when I did. I was so appalled by the way you were acting that I showed everyone else the video too.
You what?
Helen, is this really how she's been treating you ever since we got married?
No, it's not. I was just feeling a little grumpy today and lashed out at Helen. That was wrong of me, dear. I'm sorry. Seriously.
You keep quiet, Mom.
But Alan...
It's all right, Helen. You can tell me the truth. I want to know everything.
Okay, the truth is that yes, this is how she's always treated me. Helen, how could you? I can't believe you'd tell such an awful lie about me.
Shut your mouth, Margaret.
Dear, you too?
Go on, Helen. Tell your story. Alan and I believe you and we'll support you no matter what.
Thank you, Dad. But it's not true. Helen and I have always gotten along fantastically. Isn't that right? No, it's not. Oh no. She's been treating me like this ever since the first day I visited their house after the wedding. She's treated me decently when Alan or Dad was in the room, but then, the very moment the two of us are alone, her attitude towards me completely changes. That just shows how close we are. I'm able to open up and be honest with you. No, Mom, there's a big difference between honesty and verbal abuse. I haven't abused you. You told me to get out of your sight, that you didn't want me to show my face around you. That's ridiculous. I said no such thing. That time a year ago when you hurt your leg, Alan and I came to visit. I asked you if there was anything I could do to help you while you were recovering. And what was your response? Best thing I could do was to get out of your sight. Well, I just didn't want you to worry about me, that's all I was trying to say. If that's true, you sure picked a terribly cruel way to say it. After that, you told me that every time you had to look at my face, the pain in your leg got worse and worse. But what's your excuse this time? Was that you just joking around or something? Why, yes, it was a joke. That's exactly right. Thank you for understanding. Maybe if you'd ever said something like that in a jokey way before, I might believe you, but there's way too big of a difference between how you act in front of Alan and when it's just me. Can you explain to me why that is, Mom? Nonsense, I don't act differently around you. No one believes you, Mom. No one. Have you forgotten everyone here saw the video of the way you were treating me in the kitchen? Oh. So, Mom, are you ready to admit how poorly you've treated me? Well, we're waiting. Oh, fine, I'll admit it. Yes, I hate you. I hate your guts. Finally, it's about time you showed your true face. Alan and his dad used to focus all their attention on her, but once I came around, they started paying less attention to her than before. I guess she couldn't hold it in anymore and blew up in front of everyone. Hated you ever since the first day Alan brought you over to our house. Why? Why on earth did my dear Alan have to marry such a lowly woman as you? Alan's a grown man, Mom. It's up to him to decide who he wants to marry, not you. That's it. That's why I hate you. You think you're better than me. What? Don't be ridiculous. I've never thought anything like that. Don't lie to me, Helen. I can see through your little act. What have I ever done to make you think that way about me? Well, I can't think of anything specific you've said or done, but I can still sense it. You can sense it. Are you being serious right now? Yes, I'm dead serious. Call it a woman's intuition, if you will. Good grief, she's cracking under pressure. She just kept digging her own hole deeper and deeper and deeper. Seems like she was desperate to get someone, anyone, to take her side, but all she was doing was pushing everyone further and further away. She was acting so desperate that I almost laughed at some points. You're just making things up now, Mom. I genuinely tried my hardest to build a friendly relationship between the two of us. You didn't try at all. This is just like the cakes you bought me. The cakes? You came to our house by yourself one day, remember? Oh, that's right. I thought it could be an opportunity to bond with you a little bit. And you brought me a box of cakes that day, right? Yeah, I heard that you really liked the cakes they made at the bakery, so I bought a box for you. You got it wrong. Did? It's true that I like the cakes from their bakery. You got that right, but you bought a box of strawberry shortcake. I don't like that bakery shortcake. I like their strawberry cheesecake. I mean, they both have strawberries. You see, you never made any effort whatsoever to connect with me. You can't even get the kind of cake I like right. How can you and I possibly have a friendly relationship? Why couldn't you just tell me what kind of cake you like? When I came over with a box of cakes, you just grabbed the box from my hand and slammed the door in my face. You didn't say thank you or anything. I could tell you got the kind of cake wrong by looking at your face. Again, all you needed to do was tell me that you liked a different kind of cake, that's all. You never tell me anything, no matter how hard I try. How do you expect me to understand you if you won't even talk to me? Excuses, excuses, excuses. You're a miserable excuse for a wife, Helen. I'm not making excuses. You won't even let me speak. What? Over the last 3 years, every time I've tried to talk to you, you either tell me to shut up or go away. Tell me, Mom, how am I supposed to build a relationship under these circumstances? Please, I want to know. That's what I hate about you the most. My day, women used to work hard to please their mothers-in-law without complaining.
Huh? You and my mother never got along, Margaret.
That's not true.
You expect Helen to do for you what you never did for my mother?
But your mother was...
You don't need to tell me. I know that my mother wasn't always the kindest to you. I've always felt terrible about that.
You see, that's just how mothers and daughters-in-law act towards each other.
However,
my
mother was forthcoming about how she felt toward you.
And so what?
Meanwhile, you've been treating Helen terribly in secret behind our backs, hiding it from us.
That doesn't change anything.
Once I realized how my mother was treating you, I told her off and put distance between us, right?
Well, I suppose you did. My father-in-law seen enough of his wife's horrible behavior and stood up for me. This was too much to bear for her. All she could do was stand there and take it.
Helen, I can't express enough how sorry I am for how she's been treating you. And you too, Alan, your dear wife has gone through so much because of your mother, and I apologize. No, don't apologize to me. I'm the one who should be apologizing to poor Helen. I'm so sorry.
No, really, it's okay.
But why didn't you tell us what was going on sooner?
Well, I mean, it's because I love you so much, Alan. I didn't want to say something about your mother that would damage our relationship.
I see. Even still, it's my responsibility as your husband to protect you. I should have seen the signs.
It's not your fault. I should have made more of an effort to connect with her. I'm partially to blame.
You've done more than enough, Helen. You went out of your way so many times to build a positive relationship with her. You did nothing wrong.
Thank you, Alan. It means so much to me to hear you say that.
Don't worry, Helen. You won't have to deal with this anymore. I promise you.
You mean... yes. I'll do my best to be a little kinder to Helen from now on.
Don't even bother with that, Mom.
Huh?
You don't need to treat her better. You're never going to see her again.
What do you mean?
I mean that we're never setting foot in this house ever again. It's as simple as that.
You're never coming home again.
I think you'll understand, right, Dad? Indeed, I don't see any other way forward.
Wait, just 1 second. Why on earth would you say such a thing?
You know exactly why. I have a duty to protect Helen from anyone, even you, Mom. If protecting my wife means leaving my parents behind, then so be it.
I just told you I'll treat her better from now on.
Talk is cheap, Mom. You've hidden your verbal abuse of Helen up until now. How can I ever trust you again?
You can trust me.
I am extremely disappointed in you. To be quite honest, I'm ashamed to call you my mother.
Everything I've done was to protect you.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain that one to me.
I knew from the start that Helen was no good for you. There's unquestionably someone out there better for you, Alan. I had to make you see.
Mom, you have no right to try and force yourself between my wife and me. I'll have you know that Helen is an incredible woman, and I actually feel like she's too good for me.
Alan, you're so sweet. Well, obviously, once you were married, I had no choice but to accept it.
Accept it? You never accepted our relationship.
That's not it. Since you decided to marry her, I thought the only choice was to teach her how to be a decent wife. That's all. I wanted her to be worthy of you.
And just what did you teach her anyway? Helen said that you would never even give her the time of day. When you told her to shut up and get out of your face, just what were you trying to teach her, huh?
Patience.
It doesn't matter. I have a duty to protect my wife, and in order to do so, I'm cutting you out of our lives.
Wait, Alan, let's calm down now. If you do that, then what about the future?
What do you mean, the future?
What if you have grandchildren? Are you saying you'll never let us meet them?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's cruel beyond belief. You know exactly how excited your father is to meet his grandchildren.
You're right. I don't know if I could handle that.
Right? It's unthinkable. We have a God-given right to meet our grandchildren.
Let me ask you, Alan, are you planning on cutting ties with me as well? I'm sorry, Dad. I know it's not your fault, but I have no choice but to protect Helen from Mom. Then I've got the perfect solution. Solution? What is it, Dad? I'm gonna divorce your mother.
What? Dear, you can't be serious.
Do you remember what I said to my mom when I cut ties with her? I told her that I don't even recognize her anymore. And now you've become just like her, a cruel, overbearing, shrill old woman.
Dear, please listen to me.
I've already heard enough lies. I can't go on being married to a woman as duplicitous and vile as you.
Please, dear, please.
It's over, Margaret. There's nothing you can do to repair the trust that you lost tonight. I've made up my mind. I'm divorcing you.
This can't be.
Well, Alan, what do you say? If I divorce her, will you let me meet my grandchildren? As long as you don't involve Mom at all, sure.
Alan, don't encourage him. You know how your father is. Once he makes up his mind, he'll never change it for anything.
Yeah, I know.
If I lose both you and him, then I'll be left completely alone. I'll have no one.
You reap what you sow, Mom. This is all your own fault.
I didn't do anything wrong. Why don't you understand?
You've been verbally abusing Helen for the last 3 years.
Tell him this isn't true, Helen. Tell him he's making a mistake.
Helen, don't feel pressured by Mom or any one of us. Give us the truth. Go on, Helen. Like I said, we trust you.
Okay, well then, here goes. Tell them we've gotten along just fine. Please, Helen, I beg you. We've never gotten along fine. You've been absolutely terrible to me from day one. But you can't blame all of that on me. We both share that responsibility. I've seen the error of my ways now. Can we start over as mother and daughter? Not a chance. Oh no. After all the abuse you've heaped over me over the last 3 years, there's not a thing in the world that can make me want to have a relationship with you. Please, I'll change. Give me time. Time? You've had 3 years for that. I'm not spending one single second more of my life waiting on you to change. But I'm being sincere. Every time I see your face, it brings back the pain of all the cruel, heartless words you've said to me. I'll never do it again, honest. It's gonna take years for me to fully recover from the emotional damage you've done to me. Having you in my life would only add to the pain and hinder my recovery. No, it wouldn't. I'm telling you, Mom, give it up. I'm begging you, Helen, give me a chance. For the last time, give it up. You've had so many chances over the years to make things right between us, so don't expect a single ounce of pity from me. You're way too late for that. I feel exactly the same as Alan does. I never want to see you for the rest of my life. No, please. A little while later, my mother-in-law and father-in-law got divorced. My mother-in-law fought the divorce tooth and nail right up to the very last second, but her husband's iron will held up and he kicked her out of the house. But get this, after that, she tried coming to us for help, as if nothing had ever happened between us. Not to worry though, we stayed strong and threw her right back out onto the sidewalk. Having lost all her money and being left with no place to go, she moved into a rundown subsidized apartment. That's where she lives to this day, cold and alone. As for my husband Alan and I, we're just as in love as we've always been. Alan's dad comes by to see us quite often, and it's always a good time to have a chat with him for a while. And I've got even more happy news. We're having a baby, and it's a girl. So cute, and to see how excited my father-in-law is to see his first granddaughter. We're stronger as a family than ever before. Trouble Busters.